gals and gals. My name is GrannyAnn and you're watching GrannyAnn Creates. I hope you're all doing well. This is going to be my update from my last video, which is uploaded by now. And in that video, it was really just like a life update about how things have been going for me in the last month. And I got to put in a little sneak peek there starting on Saturday night, Sunday morning. I started experiencing false labor contractions. So I decided to add that into the video for a little excitement and so that you guys can be fully caught up with where I am right now. And this is where we are. It is 2 days after. It's Tuesday morning, October 13th, 2020. And I feel better. I feel a lot better. Sunday was just, it was all day long. So what had happened was, I'm pretty sure I already explained it, but that Saturday night, I woke up around 3 in the morning with very, very bad cramping sensation. It wasn't just my normal, like the menstrual feelings that I've been having in the beginning for the last month or so, for the last couple of months. It was more of like a actual cramping sensation. So I could feel it all in my belly. I could feel it a little bit in my back at the time, but not too much. And it started that way. I went to the bathroom, and when I came to lay back down, it had kept going so consistently, like it felt like it was every few minutes. So I decided to download a quick contraction app, and I started timing all of my contractions. So from about 3 at 3 to 3:30 in the morning, I started having contractions. They were about 5 minutes apart, all of them around 30 to 40 seconds long. So I was just timing them. I fell asleep for about an hour, woke up again around like 4:30, and then from 4:30 all the way until pretty much the next night, I was having consistent contractions. So in the early morning, they were a lot more consistent. They were all 5 to 6 minutes apart. As the day went on and as we started doing things, we went to the bread store, we went to Sam's Club, just like to all of our grocery little things. They started spacing out again from 5 minutes to 6 minutes to 8 minutes to 12 minutes, back down to 8 minutes to 7 minutes, up to 12 minutes to 14. And so it was just kind of like a mountain of the length of time that I was waiting in between contractions. Each contraction was about the same. It wasn't until the later part of the day and like the later afternoon where I was starting to really feel it in my lower back. And for me, this was a sign that these contractions weren't just Braxton Hicks. They're more of false contractions or prodromal contractions or false labor contractions, pretty much all the same thing. So preterm contractions. Yeah, I was experiencing those all throughout the day. They were very consistent. They were spreading from my back to my front, from my front to my back. They were getting to the point where I couldn't walk in between a contraction. So if we had one, I would have to slow down or I would have to stop. I would have to bend over a little bit. And I tried all of the different things. I tried eating, I tried hydrating, I tried changing positions, the whole 9 yards. The only thing that was able to help the contractions come to a good stop for, I want to say about a half hour to an hour, was taking a nice hot shower. And that felt so good. It was able to get that hot water all down my back, all on my belly. That made it able for me to be able to rest for a little bit and just kind of see where I was at. I had let my midwife know because it was just something that I felt like, okay, maybe she should know about this, plus just other questions. So I'll just let her know while I'm at it. And I let her know that I don't think it's anything crazy. I don't think that it's actual labor contractions yet because I didn't have my mucus plug come out. I didn't have a bloody show. I haven't had my water break. And so I haven't had any of those things. So it's kind of like I'm doing my body's doing all of this work, but there's nothing to show for it just yet, besides the fact that I have to work on my breathing patterns and everything, which is great practice. And I'm really excited that I'm able to experience that because from the way that these contractions feel, if they get a lot worse, I feel like I could handle it. I feel like at this point I'll be able to handle the real contractions, and when active labor begins, I know it's going to be a lot a lot heftier than what I'm able to say what it would probably be right now, but so far so good. Like I said, it's just been a lot of good practice for me to be able to practice on my breathing and coping through that pain, and just getting ready for that. I did notice too that Saturday and Friday, it was kind of like my pubic bone. It felt like it was going forward. So if his head was getting lodged in there a little bit more, and if he was starting to come down more, my belly is dropped a lot more. Every time I see somebody, like I just saw my sister and my stepmom last night, and they told me that I look a lot lower than just last week. My partner's mom, she told me that I look a lot lower too. So there you have it. I noticed I looked a lot lower. So we're getting here. We're getting pretty close. I'm 30 weeks, or excuse me, 30 weeks. Oh my goodness. 38 weeks and 2 days now. And the contractions have slowed down since then. Yesterday I had a good fair amount of contractions, but they weren't so bad to the point where I had to stop. They weren't bad like on Sunday, where literally the entire day was just consistent contractions throughout the day, and I didn't realize how much they had tired me out until I looked at the video that I filmed that morning, and then the video I filmed that night. Like I just my hair's all crazy, my face was all oily, and just everything. So it's just funny to me that you could see like it really did take a toll, and I didn't realize that. And I'm sure too with the lack of sleep, it just kind of added on top of the fact that I was going through that and learning to experience that pain and being okay with it. So there's that. But today I'm feeling a good amount of better, I guess you could say. I did wake up again this morning around 3 in the morning. I was having some pretty gnarly contractions. The thing with my contractions right now is they're a lot worse when I'm laying down. I don't like laying down, and it's really sad because I can't really take naps, which I really want to. So I'm going to try today. I'm going to try to either take a nap or just rest and try and meditate a little bit and just center and reground myself and just get into this new transition of pregnancy and just getting ready. Yeah, so that's really my goal for the day, is just to try and actually rest and just take my time and do it. But yeah, so I woke up this morning. The contractions were a little bit, they weren't back to back to back like they were the first night, but they were there. They made me feel like I needed to have a bowel movement. So I was in the bathroom for a little bit, just sitting there, just waiting to see if anything would happen. Not much happened from there, but by the time I got back, I was already awake. So I got on my phone, had my contraction timer open, just kind of watched a few YouTube videos, and then I fell asleep again. And from there, I was able to sleep until about from 4 to, I want to say maybe like 6:30 in the morning. And then I was awake again. I was in and out of sleep throughout that time. A lot of the time now too, when I'm sleeping in these last 3 days, every time I wake up, I'm in the middle of a contraction. So it's kind of like, for me, when I wake up, I kind of wake up with a fast-paced breath anyway. So I'm just kind of like, because it's just the shock of waking up, I guess. But so I'll wake up like that, realize I'm in the middle of a contraction, and then I have to immediately and then just start my breathing patterns and just get through that contraction, which isn't always the best thing because I can't really get up. So I'm just kind of laying there on my side waiting for it to be over so that I can attempt to try and get up. Right now, I haven't really had any crazy contractions. So far, they're all looking around 15 minutes apart. I didn't really time my contractions yesterday just because I knew it wasn't true labor. I knew that nothing was going to come from it. So I didn't want to stress about it. And the first night when I was taking them, I just took them just to see where I was at and to see what I was doing. But it was kind of annoying in my opinion. It's just like, I don't want to be taking these contractions all day long for no reason. And then nothing happens. Like, it's just, I'd rather just hang out and just relax and do things that I enjoy. And yeah, so yesterday I didn't time really any of my contractions. I could tell just by the way that they were appearing that it wasn't anything that needed to be timed. They were more of like half hours apart, an hour apart. Then it was more like 14 to 20 minutes apart. So towards the end of the night, I did time just a few just to see, like, is there any kind of pattern here that I'm not noticing? And there really wasn't. So I left it like that. I did a little bit timing this morning, and again, like, I'm still like in the 14 to 15-minute range. So nothing much. I don't know if I'm going to try and time them again. I haven't really felt any bad ones today. There, a lot of the ones that I've been having, they're more of a lower sensation again, but they're in my back mainly. I don't really feel it um in my abdomen. I don't really feel it on the sides or anything. Like, it comes after the fact that it's in my back, but the back is kind of like a rectangle right at the bottom of my hip bones, and it's just sitting there, and it kind of feels like the edges of the rectangle kind of seize up, and the sensation just goes and grows into the middle, and then I feel like a nice cramping slash burning sensation. It's almost like a soreness, like if you've ever hurt your back and you try to move. That's the only way I can explain it right now. It feels like a very bad menstrual cramp. If you have menstrual periods and you know what it's like to have very severe cramps, I've never really had that bad of cramps, but it's only what I can assume would be a very bad menstrual cramp. It just feels like really bad cramping in the front. I can feel my uterus cramping up and my stomach gets really tight like a little rock, and then I can actually feel it releasing as the end of the contraction comes. And it's very interesting to me. This whole routine is interesting, and it really helps knowing the anatomy of my body and knowing the process of what's to come and what's going to happen. It's really more of the confusion of, are these Braxton Hicks or are these false labor contractions? Please tell me, because I don't know. But otherwise, I'm pretty sure that they're actually false labor contractions. I don't think they're Braxton Hicks. The Braxton Hicks that I experienced, those ones felt more of like how it would feel right before you're going to have a period, or if you're a man watching this or you just never had a period. It's like if your stomach hurts and you need to go to the restroom and your stomach's kind of like squeezing if after you ate something that you shouldn't have eaten. So that's really the only way I can explain it. It's a very mild feeling. For me, it was, at least. It was kind of like the beginning signs, like, oh, I did I just feel like I was going to start my period or something? And that's how I recognized it. It was kind of like, I haven't felt that sensation in the last 7 to 8 months. This is weird. I notice it. And so those are the ones that I considered were Braxton Hicks and what I thought were Braxton Hicks, and they were able to be changed if I moved position or if I got hydrated, and they would go away. But these ones, if I try to change position, not happening. They're going to keep going. If I'm walking, yesterday I had a little bit of an easier time being able to walk as they were going, so they calmed down a little bit. But on Sunday, I had to stop. I had to stay in place and just breathe and focus on my breathing for a second. So that's why I consider that they may be false contractions. I can feel his little head kind of pushing more onto my cervix now because of it. Yesterday I was sitting on the floor for lunch because it was just so painful to sit on the bed. It just felt like it was making it harder for me to get through the contraction. I couldn't really sit on the seat because it just didn't feel comfortable. So I sat on the ground while I ate some lunch, and I had one really hefty contraction, and it kind of just started. My whole stomach seized up. My back started hurting really painfully, and I just felt like this very hard pressure, but it kind of felt like a turning pressure on my cervix, and I could feel it. So I was just kind of like, okay, because I was in crisscross applesauce, so my legs were spread open very nice and wide. So I was just kind of like, okay, we're gonna get through this. And I was just breathing, and we got through it. Everything was good, and then they calmed down again after that. But it's just something that I've been experiencing. I don't think baby's coming anytime for the rest of this week. Maybe if things continue the way they are and somehow my mucus plug just comes out and my water breaks, maybe we might have a baby by the end of the week. Maybe. But otherwise, he might drag it out. He might drag it out for me, and he might let me practice for the next 2 weeks. And honestly, I'm in no hurry. The first day, it was just a little bit annoying because it is a new transition and something that I wasn't used to, something that I didn't realize was going to happen. So it was annoying for me. It was kind of like, oh my God, like I don't want to do this for the next 2 weeks. But now that we're on the third day of practicing and it's kind of slowed down, I've gotten a break. I've kind of figured out the method of breathing that works for me and how to kind of move. I figured out positions that work better for me, like laying down. Can't do it. It does not feel good. It makes it feel worse, and it kind of feels like the contraction is prolonged rather than sped up, where if I'm standing and I'm kind of like bent over and just letting my back kind of be at a like an angle, and I just kind of shake my hips a little bit around, that helps a lot more. There is a position where you can have your partner help, or your birth support help you, where they kind of push their palms right onto your back right here on both sides, and they kind of just put their pressure and you push back towards them. That has helped me so much with the back pain, especially. Every time I have that back pain, it's kind of like pushing on it. It takes the tension away from it. And so that's one that's helped me. I noticed holding the front of my belly, and like my partner can do this too. He can come up from behind me and he can kind of scoop my belly up and just hold it up for me. That actually does help, not only with the front of the contraction, but also on my back. It kind of takes that weight off and it just eases that pain just a little bit more. So those are what I've noticed helped. Yoga ball has really helped me. I had to sit on it for dinner the other night and it helped so much. Just being able to actually like kind of rock back and forth. I felt like my pelvis was actually like at like a U shape, like how it should be when you're sitting, rather than just flat, and then all of the tension, I guess, and all of the weight is on your tailbone. So those have really helped me. I can't really walk around and do much besides in between them. So yeah, that's pretty much what's going on for me right now. If I had to take a guess on when I think he might come, I'm kind of hoping for the end of the week. Not because I'm in any rush or anything, but it would just be really interesting just with the dates that are in this year. Yesterday was our anniversary, me and my partner's anniversary, so we got to celebrate through that day. It wasn't as fun as it could have been because now that I'm experiencing this pain, there's not much I can really do with it besides just tell him how much I love him and I appreciate everything that he does for me, and we just cuddle and snuggle. And that's it. We couldn't really go out. We couldn't really do much, and I just want to stay close to home now. My goals for today are, I want to try and clean downstairs just a little bit more. I want to organize, and that might be another symptom of pre-labor. You know, I'm in the nesting stage now where I feel the need that everything needs to really get clean now. Wish I wouldn't have waited this long, but hey, that's what happens, right? So luckily I was able to finish up like the baby's stuff this last week. So like I washed all of his clothes, I washed all of his blankets, washed all of his stuff. I've been washing it as we get more of it. I hung it all up finally. I folded stuff, I put things away, I made space for everything where I want it to be. I got our hospital bag together, so we have his stuff ready, we have my stuff and my partner's stuff. And our hospital bag, I just used his diaper bag because I just assumed that this would be more of like, you just take what you would take to a slumber party. So you take yourself an extra pair of clothes, you take a couple little things that you need, like your charger. If you want chapstick, you take your chapstick. And I kind of just went off of a little baby list that I found on the internet of like, what should I bring in a hospital bag? Because they're going to have a lot of the things that I'll need. So like they'll have disposable diapers, they'll have diapers for the baby, they'll have the perineal bottle for me to be able to wash myself, which I already have one. But yeah, so like I just grabbed really just clothes for us. I grabbed some some chapstick, some wipes for the baby. I grabbed one of his reusable diapers, his first coming home outfit if we do end up in the hospital for any reason. And I just kind of put that all together. I grabbed my partner's clothes and everything. And then, like, I have a little list of things that we use daily. So it's kind of like we can't put it in there and then let it just sit there for the next 2 to 3 weeks until if that time happens. So I just put that list on top. So in the case that we do end up having to go to the hospital, he can come up here, look at that list, grab everything that we need, just like chargers, grab some, like, grab the shampoo and conditioner, grab this cream that I use, the salve that I made myself so that I can moisturize my belly and nipples if I have to, and just things like that. So I'm not really stressing out about that. I don't think that we'll need to go to the hospital, but in the case that we do, it's ready to go, and I'm so happy about it. And yeah, so for me, my goal is to rest today. I want to try and clean the kitchen and the downstairs area just a little bit more and have that ready. I want to crock pot some chicken because we have some chicken that we need to cook and just get out of the way, so we have dinners lined up for the next week in the case that I am starting to get more consistent contractions and I just don't feel like cooking. So we'll have that we can just go and like reheat very quickly and just throw in some sides, whatever we're going to do with that. But anyways, that's besides the point. I'm just trying to stay hydrated now. We do have a midwife appointment tomorrow, so that'll be good to see her. It's our very first weekly midwife appointment. We just saw her last week, and I can give her like updates on how I'm doing. She can explain to me like what the routine's gonna be, when should I call her, what it's gonna look like when she gets here, and everything. So yeah, really, it's just kind of preparing and being patient at this point. I already talked to the baby. We already had our chat. And I just let him know, like, take your time. I'm not in any rush. I trust you. I know you know what you're doing. We're going to work together on this. We're going to get you out nice and safe. We're going to come out of this safe, and we're going to come out happy and healthy. So I'm not in any rush right now. Honestly, if it drags out for the next couple of weeks, all I can consider is it's going to be good practice. I hope that I will be able just to rest up and really get some good sleep in there, but I'm not in any rush. So I'm trying to be as patient as I can with this whole thing. Like I said, I haven't placed any emotions on how I feel about the whole birth yet. It's a very surreal stage right now, and it's just with everything else that I go through in life, it's not until I actually experience it that I have an emotion for it. So I'm just kind of here waiting patiently, not in any rush, not trying to rush this whole routine and the process. And I'm excited. I'm so excited to see what it's going to be like. I keep having dreams about him and breastfeeding him and holding him, and it's just so exciting. So that's really all I have for today. I just wanted to give this update because we're getting close now, and I haven't really been updating a lot lately, and I need to. So I want to, and I just want to let everybody in on the magic of what's going on for these next couple of weeks. And yeah. So I hope you guys are all having a beautiful day. I hope if you are pregnant and you're going through this right now, give yourself grace. Don't feel the need to overdo things. Don't feel the need to rush things. If you didn't finish some things, it's okay. We're both in the same boat, and we'll be okay. It's not that important. And if it is, then we can always ask for help from others, because there's no need to feel that you need to do it all yourself. Get as much rest as you can, because you're going to need it. We're going to need it. And yeah, so just be aware of that. You don't realize how much rest you're going to need until it's time and you realize, oh crap, I'm going to need some rest. And just enjoy this last bit, if this might be the only time you get to experience this might be the last time if you have multiple kids, or if you only want one child, or whatever the case may be, the first time, so just enjoy this experience. Be happy to be pregnant for these last couple of weeks, because who knows when you're going to get to enjoy this the next time before baby's here and your whole life is again on a different path and everything is different. If you're in your early stages of pregnancy, good luck. I'm excited for you. I hope that you enjoy this pregnancy. It's not as terrible as everybody says. So it's really a mind over matter thing, and you don't let people get to you. If you don't like what they're telling you, don't let that be your reality. You know, if they're telling you how terrible birth is going to be, or how your boobs are going to hurt so much from breastfeeding, or how just any kind of scenario that a person can give you that just kind of belittles pregnancy and birth as a whole, don't always take it to the heart. Don't put that on yourself. Don't make it feel like crap. This is what I'm going to go through. It's going to be so terrible. I hate this. I don't want to be pregnant. It's going to be sucky because it's a winter birth or a summer birth or whatever they're going to tell you, because every single thing that you can think of that somebody would say during pregnancy, they're going to say it. And it's going to be super annoying if people ask you what the name is and you don't want to tell them. Don't tell them. Trust me. That's like the number one question I hate now. I hate that question so much. I can handle if it's a boy or a girl, or the little like, oh, do you guys have any names? Yeah, we do, but we're still deciding. Oh, what is that name? None of your damn business. Excuse me. But yeah, so don't feel the need to overexploit yourself if you don't feel like you want to do that. You know, this is really a personal time for you, not only as a woman, but as a birthing person, as a mother, as a new incoming parent, as another addition to your family if it is a second pregnancy or more than that. And just really just take your time with it. You set those boundaries for yourself and experience all of the emotions that come with it, all of the physical transitions and changes that you're going to go through, and really just fill in bliss with it. You know, it's a very exciting time. Things are changing and it's just going to be so different. If you're a birth support person and you're getting ready to support somebody who's going to be birthing, all I can really say is listen to them. Listen to them, please. If they tell you they don't want you to touch you, don't feel bad. Don't be hurt or feel alarmed like you're doing something wrong. It's just what that person needs in that moment. They just need to be alone. They just need to feel a little bit at ease, or they just need a softer touch or just a harder touch. Listen to what they're telling you because they know how it feels. Try not to put any extra little steps in there and overdo it. I know you just want to help, but it doesn't always help the person who is experiencing that pain, and it can only just make them mad, and you don't want that. And just support, you know, just be supportive of what they are trying to do, what they're trying to cope through and everything. And remember that you're just as much a part of this as they are. And when the baby's here, all of that frustration and anger they may be feeling towards you, or as the days come leading up to the birth, those will go away as soon as they have that little baby in their arms and they can look at you and they can see like, gosh, like, look at what you did for me. This is our baby. This is our child, and I love you so much. So yeah, if you just enjoy watching these kind of videos, or if you're just a person interested in childbirth like myself and pregnancy, welcome. This is going to be interesting, and I hope that you enjoyed this video and you enjoyed any of my other videos on pregnancy. Yeah, so I hope to see you guys soon here in the next couple of days. You guys be safe out there and have a great day.